Hello again. Some of those who watch these videos of mine have a very old fashioned view of biology. Like respectable Victorians, they are happy to discuss animal species and hybrids, but believe that humans are in a separate and distinct category, set apart from other animals. Whether this is because they think that humans have souls and are therefore beloved by the Lord in a way that dumb animals are not, I could not say. But any mention of human species causes their hackles to rise, and they stop up their ears in horror at the blasphemous idea that humanity ever was, and probably still is, divided up into species, just like the animal world. Let us begin with one or two facts and see where they might lead us. Once upon a time, long ago, there lived on Earth not one kind of human, but four. One of these groups were brutish and ape-like, but the others were rather like us, although they were not able to do much of any great interest. The primitive species was called Homo erectus, and the other three species were the Neanderthals, the Denisovans, and Homo sapiens. We know without a shadow of a doubt that all these different species interbred and produced fertile offspring. Most hybrids, such as those of donkeys and horses, the creatures we call mules, are sterile. Some, though, like the offspring of lions and tigers, are not always sterile and can breed, producing in time a new species. Cross-species hybridization in the natural world without any human encouragement is surprisingly common. Around 10% of the animal kingdom are known to engage in mating of this kind, which produce offspring. Fishes are famous for this kind of thing, as are ducks, frogs, and sea lions. This kind of hybridization, which occurs too in plants, can result in new stock which is hardier and better in many ways than either of the original two species. So far, I have said nothing to which even the most ardent anti-racist could take the slightest exception. Cross-species breeding is common in the natural world, and we know through the possession of Europeans and Asians of Neanderthal and Denisovan genes that different human species have in the past mated and produced fertile offspring. We know too from the DNA of modern humans in West Africa that the same process took place between Homo sapiens and an older and more primitive human species, most likely Homo erectus. I haven't given any references for all this because a quick Google will soon bring up plenty of information about the current understanding of the matter. When one cat species breeds with another, say lions and tigers or Bengal cats, the offspring are hybrids which share some characteristics of both parents. If such hybrids then mate, then they can produce a new species which sometimes breeds true. Again, nothing controversial here. What about different human species breeding with each other? Does the situation suddenly change dramatically, or does it follow the same general rule as in the rest of the animal kingdom? A better question might be, why should it change? If Homo sapiens mated with Neanderthals, is it not reasonable to suppose that the offspring would have been hybrids, combining the features of the two species? If, on the other hand, Homo sapiens mated with a more primitive human species, such as Homo erectus, would the offspring there be a hybrid form, combining characteristics of the two species? If not, then why not? If we assume that the same process applies to the Denisovan species living in Asia, then this might mean that Europeans, Asians, and Africans all represent different hybrid human species, combinations of Homo sapiens and the three other species with which they have mated. This would in turn suggest that the three main human ethnic groups might really represent three distinct subspecies of human. I will be curious to know if anybody is able to explain why the ordinary rules of biology should not apply to human species in the same way that they do to lions and tigers and frogs and ducks and sea lions. I suppose that viewers who are fundamentalist Christians might object to having humans lumped together with animals in this way, but I cannot see why anybody else should find these ideas shocking or unacceptable. Incidentally, typing racist pseudoscience in capital letters in the comments here is not really an adequate refutation of the ideas which I have been discussing, although I doubt this will discourage the less well balanced viewers from doing precisely that. I propose to build on what I have said in this video over the next few days to explore this idea further.